Who are we?
Nobodies!
Speak for yourself.
Okay. We're Canadian filmmakers with the dream of surviving financially on the backs of our films.
Welcome to our show where we bring people along on our film journey.
Maybe we can learn a thing or two.
Maybe we can teach people a thing or two while drinking beers.
I mean, if you can't drink beers while filmmaking, what's the point?
We are Fable Forest Films, failing our way to success.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. I mean, our show. First Frames First. Hello, and welcome to Fable Forest Films Indie Film Podcast, number 18.
First Frames First.
First Frames First. We have a third co-host today.
Hey, Derek Lackenbauer.
Good
The
morning.
incredible actor Derek Lackenbauer. I'm your one of your other hosts.
Jason
Who can't
Green.
speak.
Can't
And-
speak right now. My name is Adrian Constant, and welcome everybody. And we have beers.
Today's
And-
beer is Flying Monkey
Oh,
Mythology.
I have had Flying Monkey.
Yes, as have I.
Yeah,
All right.
This is a good beer.
Here you go.
Thank you.
And so Jason's going to give us a quick run through what we're doing today, what we're going to be talking about, and this will in fact be the first day. This will in fact be the first day, or the first time that we will. Oh,
It's backward. Who opens it that way? It's always that way.
this will be the first time that we put the whole podcast on YouTube, if anybody cares.
Are we
Nobody
doing
cares.
this especially
Nobody
because
cares.
I'm here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. We're also going to try to keep it to an hour.
Cheers, gentlemen.
And
Sorry, one
I-
has to take a drink when they cheers, or it is bad luck. Have a gulp.
Derek just forced Jason to drink a beer.
So back to your and.
Do you feel demasculinated? like
Well,
undermined?
here's the thing.
Those who are watching,
we're
know,
in
when
a
you cheers, you must take a drink. It's.
I'm not making any jokes about feeling. I wanted to say thank you to a couple folks who did go onto iTunes when we did the call out a couple weeks ago. Gave us a 5-star review and put comments in iTunes. It actually really helps us out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, iTunes will recognize us as a show, which is amazing.
That's cool.
And
One day.
someday.
Probably
So,
a Tuesday.
If you're listening, shoot over to iTunes, do a search for First Frames First, and leave a comment for us, and we would really appreciate it. It helps us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today's show, we're going to quickly recap where we are with our short film, My Huntsville Muse.
Love it.
We're going to talk about a new film studio / location that's popped up in our hometown.
Which is awesome.
Very cool. We're going to get into some, we were starting some animated discussions about some of the master classes going on, so we're going to talk about that real quick. Adrian wants to talk about some books. Again, we're going to do our trivia segment, which does not have a name or a theme song. And then we're going to get into discussing our new improv project, Winter Wonderland, a little bit later on before the hour is out.
Very exciting stuff. So, guys, if you're on YouTube, stick around. If
Everybody stick around now.
yeah, stick around.
Yeah.
Adrian's just going to shut the camera off.
Okay,
we
love
go.
you. Bye, guys.
Cheers, everyone.
Okay, that was good. Now, here's the problem. We did not press play on our little timer, but that is okay.
3 minutes.
3 minutes?
3
Wonderful.
minutes.
We are keeping it to an hour.
I'm impressed.
I didn't
You didn't like anything.
like anything.
You
Derek says I
Okay.
say like a lot.
Yeah.
And
didn't.
do
Very
you know what?
articulate there.
I don't. I haven't heard that before, which is weird.
I think you had a direction there. Of
Okay.
What you wanted to say and what you wanted to get out. Once you start throwing out something that's coming out right now, type
Right.
of thing that you're talking about something, and you're describing something or whatever, it's every new thought you have seems to start with a like.
my brain,
You're a teenage girl.
you have to understand that all of the wheels are turning inside my brain right now. So
And how does it feel? Is it like
it hurts. It hurts. Now I have to pay attention to the words that are coming out of my mouth, and it's pretty frustrating. I'm not gonna lie.
That is the whole reason you. That is the whole reason. That is not the reason you started doing a podcast.
So I would have to pay attention? Absolutely not. I appreciate that. And you know what? It was funny because I think that I said on the last show that I was going to re-listen to all of the shows. I was going to take
Yeah, you
notes.
did say that.
And start to put down kind of in each show what we had talked about. And I have done it much better for some. Like if you look at all the show notes for all the shows on the website, for some I have little videos and pictures and things like that. Some I couldn't remember what we talked about other than the main bullet points. So I started re-listening to the show, and I will get through it. I'm going to do this, but I will say I forgot that we probably have in the neighborhood of 50 hours of, 40 to 50 hours of rambling. 17 shows at, you know how often we do a 3-hour show. So that is a lot of audio. So I started in the car and I downloaded a little app so that I could pause the show, flip over to the app, start recording my voice and talk about whatever.
And I hear now you gentlemen are trying to dwindle things down if you can to kind of keep it contained to an hour.
If we can, yeah. We wrote down in the last show, but we didn't do a good job. But in the last show we were, I think, 2 hours. But during the 2-hour show, we came up with the concept for a 1-hour show, which is essentially, we wrote it down and pinned it on the board, but essentially less than 5 minutes of an intro, which we made it. We were 3 minutes. Then we called it golf talk, 6 to 10 minutes. So basically just talk about something that's going on right now that has nothing necessarily to do with a project, but it could
a
be
bit of babbling.
A bit of babbling.
Freestyle.
Whether it's the masterclass stuff or something that we just want to chit chat about. Then we get into current events for 10 minutes. So to this point we'd be at 20 minutes, and this is kind of where we catch up on My Huntsville Muse or the scripts or something we just want to give quick updates on. Then we get into trivia. The trivia for us last time took us like 30 minutes or more.
Yeah.
So we decided
you didn't get through that section.
No, I didn't.
It was a lot of fun, but
It is so much fun.
I do apologize.
No. It's our fault for the 30 minutes happening at the hour 45
minute mark.
Yeah,
for sure. So we originally said we would do 5 questions each, but I think we're gonna knock it down to 3 or 4. But we'll just have fun with trivia every week. And then by about 35 minutes, we're going to get into the meat. So we'll spend 25 minutes working on something specific, whether it's
the meat of the show.
Oh,
yeah, we won't.
What a dick.
We'll get into the weed and the weeds. But son of a pitch or whatever we want to talk about.
you son of a bitch.
So still on track. Let's skip My Huntsville Muse. Let's put that in the current events section. Gentlemen, there's a new building in town. It's called Lot 42 in our hometown of Kitchener, Ontario. And I don't know anything about it other than it's this huge warehouse off the side of our main highway, our main thoroughfare, and we've been noticing it for ages.
For ages. I have driven past that place since I've been here and always wondered what was inside there.
It was just some massive factory
Just
years
empty.
ago.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And I did some painting work in the smaller building just in front of it.
Yeah.
At the lot part.
Oh, yeah.
And always wondered myself too, well, what even goes on in there anymore? Because nothing was even active then.
Every once in a while, you might hear a baby monitor. That's right.
And then it was
Murder.
a few weeks ago or so, was driving by with family and saw the big lights rocking all over the place and colored lights everywhere coming out of the glass walls and limos pulling up, and there was something going on, and I thought, oh,
So must
crap,
have
this
been
is all
super
right.
private party, but now they did they had some Facebook ads, and I saw that, and they were doing I think they actually might have posted it in like a local film community or whatever, but they were saying that they're going to do their grand opening. They're going to have some concerts. They're going to have free stuff for kids in the morning, and then you got to be a little bit more. You got to be of age like later on in the evening. So I jumped on and grabbed four tickets for the event just in case any of us want to go and look inside the building and see what's going on.
Nobody has really mentioned what it is, but it is a film studio space.
Correct.
That is just big, and it's available for creative people to go in there and make creative things happen. So I did speak to someone who was handling the marketing at one stage. I don't know if she's handling the marketing anymore, but she spoke about like podcasting rooms, it's basically a space that has anything a creative person would want to technically turn their vision into something.
Now, when you
As far as space goes.
When you say podcasting room, do you mean they're already set up with microphones, or is it just an empty room?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea how far they would have taken it. But, I mean, they would obviously No, I have no idea. So it'll be interesting for us to see when we go there.
So when we go there and they're like, we're making podcasting rooms and rooms where you can make movies, and we'll say, we're movie making podcasters.
Yeah, and do you know what else we could say? Do you have any openings for a general manager?
There you go.
Right?
No. But that would be amazing. Like that's the thing.
We'll say, gentlemen, we don't have any money.
Yeah.
We would like to become your poor
like you
podcasters
say,
and filmmakers in residence.
And driving by it, even this evening I saw, it was just kind of a vast openness.
Right.
So awesome space to create in, but still leaving you obviously with some kind of budget necessary to create in.
It's interesting because I went
You're not going to do it for free there.
I really do wonder about it because it is very
But
glass
bringing in
and
your
very
own
open.
building materials, the whole 9 yards, to build said set instead of places we've seen before where they have a million options over here and you can put this together and make a set.
We
You
should
probably
talk
need
like
to bring
Digital
the
Canaries in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we
You
should-
probably need to bring your own walls in and stuff like that and take them out.
We should
But
have
there's
a
ways to do so.
We should have a show where we talk about Digital Canaries someday. We should see if we can get them on. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's who knows what it is. We should go and check it out and just see.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that when I went to Universal Studios and got to go on like a backlot tour and stuff, their big hangars where they like build huge sets and stuff, they are like crazy sound and light proof, like, and their doors are crazy thick, and so I don't know, when I see this place and I see it's full of glass and stuff, I'm just unsure what the plan is.
Do you know what? I mean, I've worked on films where we've shot in big studio spaces, and there's always issues with sound, but it's negligible issues, right?
Right.
It's like
Controlling the echoing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you have lav mics. You know what I mean?
Right.
People are also inside a room, inside the room. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But like the sound of the highway.
Yeah,
That
who
might be
knows?
really difficult, you know, it might be really difficult, but, I mean, lav mic. You have a lav mic right in the actor's throat, and that's what you're doing, and
I guess we'll see.
it's not Universal Studios.
No.
It's Lot 42 in Kitchener, so we will have to see.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Because
I'm excited to see it.
that plastic glass siding might be some kind of soundproofing. Because it is right next to
There,
a
there
highway,
must have
right?
been, I have to assume there's been obvious thought put into that
Yeah,
if they're creating like they are.
yeah. It's very exciting that it's happening in our small little town. It's the
It's
biggest
too bad
film
we
thing.
weren't able to develop such a space. 'Cause that would have been awesome.
Yeah, too.
I mean, they are spending a lot of dollar bills.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
So
that's
bills,
like,
yeah.
it's literally one of the biggest buildings in the city.
Yes.
So,
Gentlemen, Christmas is coming up.
yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have been thinking about what you want for Christmas and talking to your significant others. My wife told me what she wanted for Christmas, and it's kind of killing me because I forget already. And it's making me a little upset because it's something that you shouldn't forget. We were at Costco the other day, and I was mentioning to my boy that I was interested in a Bluetooth speaker. However, what's happening here? However, last year I tried to convince my wife to buy me the Kevin Spacey acting masterclass. Now, I'm never going to be an actor, but when I watched the trailer for it online, it just sparked my imagination, and even though I'm not an actor, I just wanted to watch all of it and consume every lesson and
Every drop. You just want to take Kevin Spacey and squeeze him into your mind.
yeah, my mind, exactly right. So now you had who's coming recently? We were just excitedly talking.
Yeah.
about
So I will say one of the ones. So Shonda Rhimes, she's the showrunner for Grey's Anatomy and for
Grey's Anatomy.
she
She does Scandal.
Scandal.
Yeah.
That's the other one. So she's
How
basically
to,
like
How
a
to Catch a Murderer.
yeah.
That's her show?
Oh.
Yes.
How to Get Away with Murder?
That's the
How
one.
to Get Away with Murder, and she is essentially like a TV content powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's
a
showrunning.
guru.
She's like showrunning all of these anyway. So she has a masterclass on there. Love to do her masterclass.
What's her masterclass about?
Television.
being inside the writer's room, making
Oh.
television shows.
Cool.
Yeah. And then there's David Mamet, who is just tough as nails, kind of, playwright and screenwriter, and he's also directed.
We talked about his book on directing
Yeah.
a couple shows ago.
And so I'd love to do his because he's he has a lot of his philosophies. I feel like I can get on board with a lot of the things that he says.
These would be extremely exciting because I remember just doing classes in my younger days.
Yeah, man.
And just being able to explore and go. And then seeing these trailers like what you were talking about with Kevin Spacey's, it just, he's laying down on the ground, he's yelling at people, sit on your heads, they're just getting into it. And that would be incredible.
It's chapters and
Just would
chapters
love
and
it, love it,
chapters
love
that
it.
you pay a couple bucks for. I mean, I think it's like $90 or something right around there.
Which is nothing.
And you get to
for
have
content like that.
hours and hours and hours of his lessons in class. So
One of the things that I left once I left university and I went and worked for a little while, I had the opportunity to go back to like a classroom environment where someone who knew what they were talking about taught me something. And I was like, I just felt that the classroom environment was amazing. You have someone standing in front of you who knows, and they are taking you on a journey of information.
right.
And it is absolutely one of the most magnificent places to be, is in this learning environment, and they give it to you online. Anyway, the other one is Aaron Sorkin, and then the big
Aaron Sorkin.
and then the big exciting one, which is coming up, is Martin Scorsese. He's doing a masterclass.
On directing.
Yeah. On filmmaking and directing, and just the top people are doing this. So you can imagine what's going to happen when they turn around and Steven Spielberg says, "This is my masterclass." You know what I mean? Because you're going to find out how he deconstructs his movies, how he puts them together, what his thinking process is, and I mean that's like a secret doorway.
It's going to be like, "Hi, I'm Phil Dinglenuts, and this is my masterclass on budgeting. I'm a certified professional accountant, and
No, but
it's going to be amazing."
Wait until you go there and a producer goes, "I produced all these movies, and these are the things you need to think about when being a producer, and this is my masterclass."
Crazy, right?
Yeah, because directing is the top level.
I'm not gonna
stuff,
lie. I
right?
reached out and offered my services, and they laughed at me real hard.
And then said yes.
No,
Yeah.
they did not say yes.
But just like what we're talking about is the most popular masterclasses, like the writer's masterclass, the director's masterclass, the thing where people pay a lot of money for this stuff. But just think about the producer's masterclass and the cinematographer's masterclass. These are big deals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, just so much educational.
So
Amazing.
I'm just saying, now you have an idea for what you want for Christmas. I'm throwing it out there. Everyone should check it out. I'm gonna on the show notes. I'm gonna post a couple of our faves, and check them out. And we're not getting paid to shill, but these things are so exciting.
Yeah, and you know what? I haven't done one,
No.
but I can't wait.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. You wanted to quickly talk about some books that you're.
Yeah. So I just wanted to mention one book that I've just finished reading. It's called Aristotle's Poetics for Screenwriters. So Aristotle wrote a book on, because ancient Greece, they used to put on plays. It was like part of life, like a lot, right? And Aristotle actually wrote a book on the structure of plays and what makes a play really great and what makes a play bad and what plays should be in order to be great plays. Anyway, so the gentleman that wrote this, Michael Tierno.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
What he did was he just took it and he sort of abbreviated what Aristotle said, and he just linked it directly to what a screenwriter might need to hear. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to one of the main points and one of the big takeaways from the book is just that everything in your screenplay or in your story has to point towards the primary purpose and function of the story. It all has to be part of the same story system. And this is more important than people realize. Like, cutting out the crap from your screenplay, from your story, is a lot more difficult than people realize. You take one section of dialogue, and you say, if you take that section of dialogue, you say, what piece of this dialogue is actually moving the story forward, and what is just someone flapping their lips?
Sure.
Because you felt like this character needed to say all this stuff. And you can usually whittle it down to one line of glorious moving the story forward, stuff.
Instead of a blubbering, unnecessary monologue.
I will say that sometimes that hurts. Like, sometimes you have a scene which you really love with, like, a joke that you think is hilarious, and you're like, this just has to go. This whole half a page just has to go away, because it doesn't really do anything, right? And I could move these characters to the next stage just by taking this completely out, and we just saved a half a page when you're going too long or whatever. Yeah. But, it's so frustrating sometimes when you want to tell a joke.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that... And this, we learned this when we did 5 Alarm, is that even your jokes have to be in line with the primary story.
Yeah.
Because all the jokes in 5 Alarm were funny, hilarious, but they were random. They weren't in line with the primary, this is the story. So the jokes kind of are part of that story. Yeah, they're also moving the story forward. There's not a disconnect.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was probably one of the main takeaways from that book. I recommend it. I recommend all books. All information, in fact, I recommend. Because there's a lot of people, when I'm listening to podcasts, there's a lot of people who say, no, don't go and do that seminar with that person. You know, I don't understand why anyone would not want information.
Sure, and you know what? Sometimes you want to read a book like Dean Koontz's The City. That's fine. It's just not very good. But you should read it because it's important. It's important to read books that turn out to not be great. Because otherwise... How are you going to know when a book is amazing?
Yeah.
And that's why you should watch lots of movies too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's tough. It is tough.
It gets tough watching shit movies.
Yeah. When the movie gets really caca, just move on to the next thing.
Speaking of, good segue.
Yeah.
I loaned you one of my favorite comic book series of all time. Now, I do have a few of my favorites, but we'll talk about one in particular. Mm-hmm. So I gave you the whole run of Transmetropolitan, which is Garth Ennis and am I right? Or Warren Ellis? Warren Ellis, sorry. They're almost interchangeable. Garth Ennis wrote Preacher, who I love, and now it's a show on AMC. So Transmetropolitan, how are you enjoying it so far?
I'm enjoying it a lot. It's awesome.
Can I tell you who was super interested at one point in playing Spider Jerusalem? You must know already. You read the forwards?
No.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes.
Do you want to guess first?
I can't.
You can't guess?
No, I have absolutely no idea.
Patrick Stewart.
Get the shit out of here. He was going to do it?
No, he wanted to.
He wanted to play Spider Jerusalem?
He wrote and said, please let me be Spider Jerusalem. Now, I have one other guy I want to show you.
You see, now this was the question that I had. This is why I actually wanted to bring it up in the podcast. So, what it is. So this is for Derek and for anyone that's listening that doesn't know. Transmetropolitan is basically, he's a journalist in the future. So they deal with like really crazy sci-fi stuff. Like anything you can think of that could exist in the future, it exists in Transmetropolitan. Like they have people that are being beamed into machines and they turn into a gas. So they are still people, but they're basically a gas. It's wild.
Or have you? You know how they have.
You can change your DNA temporarily so that you become like part dolphin, and then you can be swimming in the ocean.
You know how in Star Trek they have those replicators where you can have food. So they have replicators, but those replicators get almost like AI intelligence, and they'll be like, this is the John Gotti replicator, and he'll take drugs. Like, people will feed this replicator drugs, and then your stuff comes out really weird, and it's just a very fucked up, weird...
So Spider Jerusalem is a journalist, and his whole MO is that he tells the truth. He hates everyone, but he loves the city. It's the only place where he can really write, and he's all about the truth. So it's him against the system, you know?
It's very Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, and all the wrong that's in the system, and he just takes drugs, and he...
watches television, watches all the... He'll put like 400 news channels on, sit back, do drugs, and just watch the news and just see what's coming up, you know?
And so the art of the graphic novel is really fantastic. Like, it's really manic and crazy and claustrophobic. It's great. But my big question was, who has the rights to Transmetropolitan?
I don't know.
Yeah, because
I
that
do
would
not
make one hell
It
of a
is.
film.
It is.
would,
or
and that's
or a
all I
television
could-
show.
All I could think was,
Yeah, an incredible
HBO.
series. Yeah.
Yeah.
all I could think was, why have I not seen this in a movie yet? Because it's just so.
Maybe it's too much.
It's
just
probably
It's a lot.
I want you
It's a
to
lot.
imagine. Have either of you seen the new Blade Runner movie?
not yet.
The new Blade Runner
The
movie.
2049.
Blade Runner
Oh
2049.
yeah, no, I haven't yet.
Did you think that there was another one after that?
When you said Blade Runner,
Yeah.
I heard Blade. Like
Oh,
Oh,
vampire
like
movie?
yeah, like
the
Wesley
new
Snipes.
Wesley Snipes movie?
Yeah.
No.
Is he out of jail yet?
I mean, I think so. By the way, here's the other guy that I was thinking. Joe Pantoliano
Right.
always
Yeah.
reminds me of Spider Jerusalem.
Now is he? See, both those actors are just a little bit older than I thought.
But the thing is,
Like,
you got to remember that this.
Spider is.
You have to remember that this is 15 years old, right? Like I read this for the first time when
Yeah.
I was a teenager, so you do need to remember that these were the guys I thought would be amazing. Like when Daredevil came out, when Daredevil with Ben
they
Affleck
were the
came
right
out,
age then.
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna pull up Spider Jerusalem, but
Yeah, it is wild, and
Sounds it.
it's a great read. Some of the stuff is a tad overwritten.
Sure.
Like sometimes they get a little bit crazy where like they just ramble on about like trapdoors opening in people's testicles and gas shooting out of there.
he has a gun that's a bowel disruptor, so he shoots people and makes them
Shit
What
themselves.
turned you on to this?
There was a couple like huge adult graphic novels when I was a kid. It was like,
Watchmen.
oh god damn it, that's one.
There's
Watchmen.
been more than one.
Has there been?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been trying.
You're
hard.
actually been doing really well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, Watchmen, Preacher, The Boys, Transmetropolitan, Why the Last Man.
So these are like adult graphic novels.
Oh yeah, like The Walking Dead. Walking Dead was Walking Dead way before the television show.
Right.
Oh, it was a graphic novel way
Oh
before
yeah,
television.
like 30
See,
graphic
I
novels.
never got into any of that type of stuff. When I was doing comics and into comics, it was Marvel characters and Conan the Barbarian and stuff like that, which I loved. And then I started to draw these characters. I loved doing that.
And I loved Superman was my big guy. Like I have 3 long boxes still of old Superman comics from when I was a kid.
Nice.
And like Connor and Lex have pulled them out of their packages and read them to death. I mean, some are in great shape, some are garbage shape. But I have boxes and boxes of comic books. But these really hit me. I think I read Preacher first. And Preacher was like nothing I had ever seen. Like, there's a guy that, fucks meat that he has sewn together to look like women, right? And like, there's this preacher's best friend is a vampire, and they're going up against the Catholic Church, and it is like, Preacher is the best. Transmetropolitan, what came around almost the same time, and was where Preacher was like very religious and very smart and very action. Transmetropolitan was very intelligent and just crazy.
Adrian just went to check his freezer to see how much meat he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
I didn't know that was a thing. But the thing about Transmetropolitan that I loved is that it was just such an unconventional hero.
Yeah.
It's like if you had to take the one person who could save a society, and you were like a journalist who will never bend.
Right.
And it's an unconventional who would make a comic about a journalist? I mean, I wouldn't. It's definitely the bottom of the list of things that you make a graphic novel about.
But this is it. Like you'll read pages and pages of a comic book where a guy is sitting with like a ashtray full of cigarettes, and he's smoking, and he's looking through his glasses, and he's writing on a laptop. He's like, "Fuck you!" and he's pushing everybody else away, and he's got to get this thing done so that he can meet his deadline and whatever. I don't know. It's amazing.
It is cool. It's very cool. So anyway, my question, and the question that I would like to put out to our social media friends is who has the rights to Transmetropolitan? Because if Patrick Stewart was interested, somebody owns the rights. 100%.
I mean, I imagine it's the writer.
I
You
wouldn't.
don't think
I
so?
don't
You-
think
you
so.
think-
I
you
think
think a
somebody's-
Hollywood type owns the rights at
I
this
think a
point?
studio owns the rights. I think it's probably on the interwebs available.
Google that shit.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of fun, but you enjoyed it.
Love it. And I
Enjoy
got one
it.
more. I got one more left. I got
Oh,
one more book left. So he's the president and him are going head to head, and does it end? The story ends.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Well,
See
don't go
it.
spoiling.
You're not gonna believe how it ends.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
All right, now we gotta move to trivia, and we gotta move along quickly here.
We are halfway through our allotted time.
I know we're getting killed here.
I know. And one thing I will say that is, if we go a little bit over,
Okay, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Exactly. Okay, guys.
yeah,
First of all, still we need a score, and we need a title for our new trivia segment. I'm just throwing it out there in case somebody has something amazing. Derek, I don't know if you want to sing a trivia theme song, but we're down for that.
okay, good.
Now, here we go. Right on.
Okay, so let me just grab a little pen here.
Okay.
Okay.
So when I ask my questions, is it first man to answer? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Question number one.
Do we have to ding in or anything?
No.
Just go for it.
Question number one is, so film trivia of any kind. Who is Desmond Llewellyn, and what is his film legacy?
Desmond Llewellyn. Desmond Llewellyn. Okay, I have no idea. So you're gonna have to give us a clue so that I can guess it out.
All right.
I can guess it out. Yeah.
All of my questions today are James Bond related.
Okay, so James Llewellyn would have been
Desmond.
Desmond Llewellyn.
Desmond Llewellyn.
Was he a character in one of the movies?
No, he's a James Bond director.
No, he is not. And yes, he is.
Was he
Q.
from Goldfinger?
He was Q.
He was Q. He played famously Q in 17 of the James Bond movies. Even though James Bond switched, Desmond Llewellyn stayed
Remained.
Q for like ever. All right.
Awesome. Moving on. Okay, starting from Reservoir Dogs, what is Quentin Tarantino's fourth, fifth, and sixth film?
So Reservoir Dogs is number one?
Considered number one.
So you're telling us to skip 2 and 3 and go to 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, so you know that he's got like 8 films.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is rough.
I know, and I knew this would be rough because I know you're such a huge fan.
I'm not going to be able to number them off properly.
Well, just think about what came after. Think about 2 and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6.
I'm thinking 2 and 3 Pulp Fiction's in there. And then I can't remember if he's went to Kill Bill
Yeah, I'm gonna say
as 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unsure. And then obviously there's Volume 2.
Yeah.
And then there was that war one with Brad Pitt.
Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
That one came later.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that one.
So
I'll give you that.
that's where I'm having the issue with the 5 and 6.
Okay.
okay. So I'm gonna say
You'll get the point if you get 2 out of 3. Let me say that.
I'm gonna say Jackie Brown,
Mm-hmm.
Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Volume 1.
You are incorrect, Jason.
Damn it!
Derek, Flyer. He did not get 2 out of 3. If he had got 2 out of 3,
Yeah.
I would have given it to him. But you got 1 out of 3.
I'm at a loss for 5 and 3 or 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, just have a Flyer.
Yeah, I just kind of spouted them out to you before.
Okay. So Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2, and Death Proof.
Death Proof.
Death Proof.
Oh,
What was
right.
that one?
Yeah.
That was the one where Kurt Russell was in the car.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's
he
chasing the
did-
stunt girls.
Yes.
Yeah. I actually really like that. And that was the one
The
he
kind
did
of half
Grindhouse.
animated
Yeah.
film or whatever, right? It was no, but it had an animated almost look to it.
It was
Was that-
he worked with Robert Rodriguez.
Do you know what I
to
mean?
do
Like it
Grindhouse.
had that weird, like Grindhouse
Planet
type
Tower.
thing. Yeah.
Planet Terror. What was the other one? All right, damn it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had some bizarre movies. Ooh.
Question, Derek. Yes.
What movie was Quentin Tarantino a brother of a shit?
Is this your question?
No, well, kind
From
of.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes, damn it.
Is that your question?
Well, he's already blown it up, but no, that wasn't going to be my question. It's just I was going.
Quentin
on about
Tarantino plays the brother of George Clooney.
George Clooney, thank you.
That's
I
right.
blanked on
In
him.
Dusk Till Dawn.
And you know that in From Dusk Till Dawn is. Do you guys know Michael Parks? I think he actually he might have just passed away.
No.
I might be wrong. Michael Parks he played the cowboy, the sheriff at the beginning of From Dusk Till Dawn. He played the old like God-fearing, gay-hating guy in Kevin Smith's Red State. He played the guy in Tusk.
Oh, he's the old man in Tusk.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he played in both Kill Bills. In one of the Kill Bills, he was a cop, the sheriff that sees the girl get
Cool.
shot, and in the second Kill Bill, he plays like the Peruvian like horror guy. If you remember that.
Was the classic horror film makeup special effects guru in From Dusk Till Dawn?
Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Like a person? James
yeah.
Cameron.
No, the guy who played.
I have no idea.
The guy who played.
Because I used to be a huge special effects
Okay.
fan back in
And
the
he was
horror
in-
movie
he was
days.
in the
Did
movie?
you suck a special effects dick?
Maybe. Hey. Okay.
If it was
in
a
the
Tuesday,
movie?
that's possible.
Was he in the movie?
Yes, he was.
Was he the guy with the gun on his dick?
Yes.
Yes, I don't know the guy's name.
Tom Savini.
Oh, amazing! I
So,
do remember
he
who you're
did-
talking
Tom
about.
Savini.
He did your Jasons and
Yes.
all
So
that
he-
type of stuff.
he was a big
He
wig.
was the horror guy of the 80s.
That is actually really.
If there was a machete going
Tom
into someone's
Savini.
head, Tom Savini did it.
love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
And that's
piece of
good
trivia.
that you would
know that.
I actually really like that guy.
put him as he was the guy who
Gun dick.
looked down and had a gun come out.
can't
of his
remember his name,
crotch.
but-
Crazy.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
The World Is Not Enough was the final film appearance of Desmond Llewellyn as Q in the James Bond series. When he reveals his plan to retire, Bond is upset, but Q signs off and says, "Now pay attention, 007. I've always tried to teach you two things. First, never let them see you bleed." What was the second thing that he tried to teach James Bond?
Never let them see you bleed.
This was his last line in a James Bond film ever.
What would you... Never... And never say goodbye.
Nope.
I don't know.
Said, always have an escape plan. And then he
course
lowered
he
himself into the floor.
Nice.
Classy.
That's
a
cool.
classy
You didn't
gentleman.
even have a guess. You
I had no guess.
Softy. Come on.
All right.
All right.
Did you say
Name...
soft dick?
Softy.
Soft.
Softy.
Soft dick.
No, softy. Okay. Name two actors who won Oscars posthumously.
Oh man, if it was Desmond Llewellyn, I would be amazed. That'd be so cool.
So I will, and
okay,
I will help you with the...
No,
I will
I'm gonna
help
say
you.
no. Don't help me. First of all, I'm gonna say Heath Ledger.
Yeah, that is one of them.
Do I get a point for that, or do I have to get two?
Oh, you can get a point for that.
Thank you. I need a point.
There's another actor who won an Oscar
Derek.
posthumously.
Means after they died.
What a dick.
I know. Derek feels bullied when he comes and hangs out on the podcast. He's like,
Derek
you guys
feels
just
bullied
tease me."
anywhere with you pieces of shit.
It's because we love.
Well, it's because you won.
A hard time.
It's
Cheers.
because you won at golf.
Dick.
That's right.
I mean, the winner is always the guy that gets the arrows in the back.
Okay.
Okay, so Heath Ledger.
How about
God damn it.
River Phoenix?
That's a good attempt, but that is a no.
Bruce Lee.
No.
Damn it.
Okay. So I'm gonna say it's a film from 1976. Okay, and you would know the monologue because it is literally one of the greatest monologues in television history, and this guy is my second cousin. Apparently, according to my dad.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you mean was.
Yeah. According to my dad.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some family connection that takes it back. It's weird.
That's great.
We had a whole book and we had a book
One of
on
the
a shelf.
greatest television monologues of all time? Or movie monologues?
Movie monologues of all time.
Come on.
Yeah, literally the greatest. Like, if you go to a film study, if you go to a class and you study a monologue, this one will be in the top 10.
Jack Lemmon.
No.
Damn it.
Oh, come on. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay,
This is gonna
I'm
kill
mad
me.
as hell.
This is gonna suck.
I'm mad as hell.
Quote part of the monologue.
I'm mad as hell.
Is that a quote of the part of the monologue? Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, you gotta do more of the monologue, bro.
Okay, hang. Wait.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job.
Jackie Gleason.
The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody
Network.
anywhere who seems
Peter
to know
Finch.
what to do, and there's no end to it.
Really?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something.
The air is unfit
And this
to
is
breathe.
this is my favorite part about our film trivia, is that I have never heard of the movie Network, nor have I heard the name Peter Finch.
Yeah, so he won. He's the only other guy to win an Oscar posthumously, and and I'm mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this shit anymore.
Really?
Wow.
And then everybody starts shouting, "I'm mad as hell." No.
No.
Okay. You have been.
I will say-
you've been knowledge.
We've now been educated.
Yeah, that was amazing. I like that a lot. Okay,
Okay, moving on.
moving on.
Go
D-man.
It's probably an easy one, but
That's okay.
I'm just
We
going to
need
kind
to
of
win.
go with
Yeah.
the forthcoming Halloween theme,
Oh.
as we're not far away. Are you guys Friday the 13th fans?
Shit, Jason.
I'm not that great. I'm not really. But go ahead.
Okay. Who was the killer in the first Friday
Jason.
the 13th?
The mother.
Shit. It was the mother.
Yes.
Balls.
I do know that. I wouldn't say I'm a
What's the
fan.
mother's name?
Voorhees.
Catherine Voorhees, I think it was.
So I'm not a huge fan, but I have seen a couple. The one that I remember, the two teenage lovers are banging in a cabin, and he's under the bed, and he sends
Right
a
up
spike right up through them. That's the one I
Through
remember.
both of them. It's fantastic.
It was Freddy that they had to pour the water on, or was that Jason? The holy water? Was that Freddy or Jason?
Freddy is in your dreams.
Okay.
Jason, I don't recall the holy water ever affecting him.
All right. I don't know anything about
holy
these
I
guys.
don't know how
water.
you answer that question.
I think you're getting more into like
Here we go.
exorcist type stuff and whatnot.
Who? My turn for a question. Back to James Bond. Here we go.
I don't get it.
Who was the creative genius behind the character James Bond?
Ian Fleming.
You got it, buddy.
Shonda Rhimes.
I got Ian Fleming because he wrote the books.
Yes, he did.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
In the first two Jaws films, what is the police chief's name?
Beat.
I was like, that's not a name.
I was like, whoa, you got it.
Chief Wingham. No. Shit.
I don't know.
No.
Okay, do you know what? And then I'm going to give you the first name. Chief Martin.
Bishop.
Damn it. And I was a huge fan of the Jaws films, but
All
that's
right.
just one of those things.
We're going to know
that
this.
you
Go
select.
ahead.
Chief Martin Brody.
Brody. Damn it.
Well,
Yes.
I still wouldn't have got it.
Good one. That was a good one.
I remember every visual from those movies, but a name.
Derek Gifford.
Jay, by the way, has never seen Jaws 2. Is that okay?
What?
Yeah. I love Jaws. I've seen it, I don't know, a billion times. And I should have known Brody.
Do you know that almost back in the day when 3D just kind of started coming around, almost every third film was always done in 3D.
Jaws 3D. Yeah, that makes sense.
Jaws 3D.
Piranha 3 double D.
Jason 3 3D.
I believe it.
I wonder what happened. Maybe it was just caca.
Yeah.
Well,
That was garbage.
the 3D of back in that day was the red and blue
Yeah.
jazz, and it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Do
It
you have
actually
one-
gave you headaches.
Do you have one more?
No, I'm trying.
All right, here we go.
Okay, go.
My last one. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Are you talking about how many strokes I beat you guys by in golf?
Yeah. 13 people.
What a jag.
13 people have played James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of them have played on TV and radio.
Oh.
Some of them played in a spoof movie, but like famously. But there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 men played James Bond in a feature film. How many can you name?
Mm-hmm.
1
Hang
point for
on.
each.
He's already doing it.
I don't know
Okay.
if I can do 1 point for each now that I see that you're going to beat me.
Yeah. Daniel. Okay, so we go. What is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You said there were 7.
Yes.
Oh shoot! I got 5. Okay.
Wait, before you say,
Yeah.
G-Man, you want to take a crack?
I can see every one of their faces.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
unfortunately blank on the names.
That's okay. Here we go.
Pierce Brosnan, Sean Connery.
Yes.
Well, who was the latest one?
Oh, Daniel Craig.
All right, good. Then you got Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Then we go to Sean Connery.
Okay.
Then I think it was Roger Moore.
Okay.
We had Timothy Dalton in there for a little bit.
Yep, that's 5.
And then I can't remember the other 2. I'm gonna kick myself. There was one guy. I don't know if it was Timothy Dalton who did 1.
It was actually George Lazenby.
Actually, I wouldn't have got that.
And which one was that?
I don't know. He did 1 in between Sean Connery doing a couple.
Between Sean Connery and Moore? Because
believe it or
those
not,
two were right after.
Sean Connery was
Believe
on
it or
either
not,
side of him.
Sean Connery actually was the first Bond. Then it was Roger Moore.
Bond.
Then it was George Lazenby.
Bond.
Then Sean Connery came back. Then Roger Moore came back. Believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it was Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig. But the first ever actual James Bond who played in a full-length feature film was in fact Bob Simmons. And he is the Bond that you see
Walking,
and then shooting
Oh, and in terms
Bob
of
Simmons.
in the opener.
in the opening. And
that's
That's so
he played
cool.
all the way until Goldfinger.
Wow.
And then they replaced him with Sean Connery. But he was
As they should.
the first.
And I'm sorry, Sean.
And he was actually
Mr. Connery is my favorite Bond.
Now here's
but I just want to say one thing quickly. He was a Bond stuntman. I just want to throw out that piece of trivia. Bob Simmons, the guy that played that guy, was actually a stuntman for James Bond, which I thought was really cool.
That's very cool. So what I will say is Sean Connery had the most swagger. Daniel Craig is the most believable Bond because Daniel Craig is a killing machine. Right?
Here's the thing. I think each of them have had their thing. I think, I loved the Daniel Craig Bonds. Loved them. When they first did that black and white in Casino Royale where he's killing the guy in the bathroom and he's breaking tiles and stuff and he couldn't quite kill him and he had to... That was amazing.
Yeah.
But
There was a realism
Pierce
to it.
Brosnan was like, I thought Christmas only came once a year.
For you, Christmas came early this year. But yeah, it's
Because her name Denise Richards' name was Christmas. You remember?
Oh, get the shit out of here.
it was super cheesy. But
good stuff.
each
That's so
character
terrible.
worked with each new era of
Yeah.
things. Like Daniel is now in this area of ultra-violence, super special effects.
Yeah. Do you know
Cameras
what? And
following all this
I'm
different
really-
shit and everything, and they didn't have that back in Sean's day. Or I bet you he could have kicked ass and all that. type of
No,
stuff, too.
he was not athletic enough. He was a model. Daniel Craig is he's a UFC fighter. Like, look at Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
He's a UFC fighter. You look at Sean Connery. Sean Connery's a Gucci model.
Yeah.
So you can tell just by looking at the body physique, and I know it's part of it is the flavor of the time.
Sure.
You know, but I just believe Daniel Craig would kill people in a bathroom.
Yes.
I believe Sean Connery would sleep with a bunch of women.
Yes. Which his character did. Yeah.
So I also have a last question which I just came across.
Good, because I need more points.
Okay.
I don't have a check mark.
Have you been having fun though? Because
yes.
I'm not gonna lie, having fun is the most important part of trivia night.
That's what losers say. Okay, listen. The Golden Bear is awarded in what international film festival?
The Golden Bear.
The Golden Bear Film Festival.
Don't be a jackass.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Alaska International Film Festival.
that is a negative.
Damn it.
You'll be surprised, actually. I don't even know if they
Is
have
there
bears.
a
California.
one out in BC?
No.
Okay.
You guys are both wrong. It is the Berlin International Film Festival.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a famous award, so I'm surprised you guys didn't get that. I thought you'd get it quite easily.
Never heard
actually.
of it. Never heard of it. That's really cool. But I will say that I was just listening to. We were talking about the master classes earlier and how much we enjoyed. How much we enjoyed being back in school, and you tout Indie Film Hustle a lot. I actually started Indie Film Hustle from number 1, and I've been listening to them right from the beginning. And I was listening to one gentleman who I really, really liked his interview, but he was saying that there are really only 10 film festivals in the world that mean anything.
Yeah.
He said Toronto was one, and he did say Berlin was another. He said Cannes and Sundance and blah, blah, blah. But Berlin is a biggie.
Yeah, oh, it is, for sure. Absolutely. If you can get into one of the major film festivals,
Now,
you do really well.
He didn't mean that in his talk. He didn't mean that the others weren't important. What he meant was, that there are only film markets where people go to buy films at 10 or 12 festivals.
Yeah.
All the others are more for recognition and laurels, and
you're not going to get, someone's not going to come and buy your movie and put it on, be like, we're going to open it in 10 screens across the country. Right.
That was a lot of fun, guys.
Moving on.
And we're moving on. All right, so
Winter Wonderland.
now we're into the meat of the podcast. And so I think, did we talk last podcast about, yes, we did, about kind of the concept for the improv and where we wanted to take it?
Yeah, so let me just bring Derek up to speed. So what we're thinking, and I think we're heading in this direction, is that, so Derek, there is a group of people who are stuck inside this house.
Yes.
It's winter outside, and the apocalypse has happened with regards to a virus of some kind, has infected the population. So that the population are a cross between vampires and zombies. They're going to be creatures of our own creation. And I would like to describe what I have in mind and see what you guys think about that. So these creatures are wandering around outside in the snow. And they will kill you and eat you and devour you if you go out. They are not slow like zombies. But they're also not quite as calculating as vampires. Because a vampire is like a human. So a vampire can make a plan and strategize, whereas these are more, they are like zombies in the way that they are just killing machines. Yeah, but
they're animals.
They're
of some
animals,
sort.
yeah. So we have a group of people that are stuck in this house, and now they're trying to work out how they're going to survive. So, and then what happens inside the house is people start to get killed. So it becomes a little bit like a whodunit, like a little bit of a detective story, but people cannot leave the house.
Now, Derek, we would really like you and a number of others to act in this shindig. And most of the movie, the idea for this is that we're going to shoot it this winter over the span of a couple weekends with a bunch of cameras. And it's going to be semi-improvised.
Yeah,
love it.
So no solid script like this. These are the lines you have to say, but we know where we need to get, where the scene needs to go.
We're going to know a few things that the actors will not. Now,
the actors will only find out the story in the scene.
Go. Now, we're bringing you in because we want to work with a bunch of people to flush out the story and some of the key points and things like that. But there's going to be a few things that not everybody's going to know, which I think is going to make this a really fun little project. Nobody's going to quite know how it's going to turn out as we move through. And it's going to be pretty exciting and pretty fun to do. And even if it's stupid, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah. No, I think it will be a lot. It'll be great. But yeah. So we will have to get people into the mindset of improvising. Yeah,
I've already got things going through my head already just from what you've described.
But what I'm saying is the actors are going to have to you're going to have to get used to being your character in a scene.
Yes.
Like, so we'll workshop a bunch of. We'll have a couple of days where people are just their characters, and we just have random scenes, so that because we can't have people thinking about what they're going to say next. They just have to be the character.
Yeah, no. When I was saying I was thinking about things already, it was just questions that I already had.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so just from a purely logistical standpoint, because just goofing around thinking about how we might do it, we're going to incorporate meals, and we're going to incorporate nap time or whatever, you know what I mean? Like resting time. Like, do you remember when we were, one thing that I really enjoyed was we were shooting Postman, or where we're shooting Bickerman's Grove, and where Zach would take a little breather on the couch. Do you remember that? He'd be like, okay, it's not my scene. I'm going to just chill for a couple minutes and think about things and whatever. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think it was Bickerman's Grove.
Yeah.
And, we're going to use all those moments, right? When we're in the house and we're shooting and there's things going on, we want to capture some of the extra stuff that you guys are doing. Like, so there won't be pizza and Subway. There'll be like
cans of beans and
cans of, Irish stew that you guys will have to open and cook on on the stove and dole out. That way we can incorporate it into the film, right? Because there's going to be
Brilliant.
Not tons of time to do everything, so we're going to incorporate all these pieces of the puzzle as we go. And
everybody's still in character.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Exactly.
It's almost like nobody leaves character for these 2 days.
Well, and that to me sounds like what may promote the madness that goes on within the house.
Right.
If you ever seen the movie, and I know you have, Jason, Cube.
Shit, we just talking about Cube.
Okay.
This is an amazing segue, by the way. We just got invited to go on someone else's podcast. It's called RCMP Podcast. And right now, every show, they talk about some Canadian movie. And they got in touch with us and said, do you guys want to do a show? And you have to pick one of your favorite Canadian horror movies. And I love Cube. Awesome. I've seen it a bunch of times, and Adrian hadn't seen it before, so he just came over and we watched it a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
Even the special effects were quite impressive.
Yeah. You know what? Good story. Good, solid movie, man.
Like,
beginning to
you can put yourself in the position of those people, and they told it right. Like, literally, people are going to snap.
I have to tell you something. We can't talk about Cube right now, because for our listeners, we're going to have a whole show about Cube, and we're going to throw it up online.
So I just want to talk a little bit about it. Number one, I think that a lot of the lighting that we're going to use, because the windows are going to be blanketed up, so it's going to be pretty dark. So we're going to have fast lenses, and I think we're going to light things with lanterns. Everybody has a lantern, their own lantern.
Like a flashlight, maybe.
But a flashlight, and you get these flashlights that you click down, like you sort of click them into lantern mode, and then people walk around. So it's a battery-operated lantern.
Now, the one thing that I really liked, I was actually just finished watching season 1 of The West Wing. I know we were talking about Aaron Sorkin. I'm rewatching it with Connor. Love The West Wing. And, one particular scene hit me the other night where Jed Bartlett is going to sleep as the president in his room. And he clicks off the light, but of course there's moonlight from the window, and it's kind of illuminating the room in a little bit. And I was just thinking about the movie, and I was thinking that there's going to be times where we want people to walk around the house without their flashlights, kind of in the dark, because there's some mysterious moments. You're going to see, a person's feet walking through, and you're not going to know who that person is, because it'll help build the story and things like that. So what types of things do we also need to keep in mind when we're lighting in the dark?
Yeah.
Are we really going to fully light in the dark or not?
Yeah,
really?
you're never in the dark.
Right.
You always have ambient light so that you can expose correctly on the camera. But it has a night look.
Right.
So that people understand, like, it's a soft light so that you see the shapes, you understand the shapes. So yes, there's always ambient light, but what we can do is we can bring up the ambient light in the room, and everybody wanders around with these little lanterns. Right. So we will light, but I think the way that we're gonna try and set it up is that we could theoretically move into any room in the house and just shoot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like it's almost like the lighting is set up in such a way, and I think the way that we're going to shoot is going to be set up in such a way that we can just, like, once we're in that room, we just shoot. So that and that's part of the reason that the lanterns might be so good,
And you can always adjust how dark or light a scene seems in post, anyways.
Yeah, but you don't. You want to get it right on the
want to
day.
get it right.
Yeah, we want it. We want it to look good. So we would try and set up each room, and it's going to be a dark movie.
Do you
Which
have...
will add to the eeriness of it.
Yeah.
We should not... There should be no electricity in the house.
Exactly. It's post-apocalyptic.
Which means we have to...
There's no running toilet.
We do have to work with a propane cooking unit in your house. That's going to be tricky.
It should be okay. We'll just have to watch out. Now the thing is, what we have we also have to deal with in the story. We're going to have to deal with people pooping in buckets and peeing in buckets because there's no running water. Mm-hmm. So somebody has to take that out and dump that. That's part of the movie, right? That's part of the story.
Maybe it starts to smell real bad while there's too many walking bad guys outside.
Exactly. I mean, it's issues that we can come up with, right? And the other thing that we're going to have is we're going to have the forest out back of the house here, in the snow looking down at the house. It's sort of like a treed area.
Will the viewers, the audience, see a glimpse of said creatures?
So I just want to tell you guys what I think.
Okay.
What I'm thinking for the creatures. Let me tell you a scene. So there's one character who I think, if Mike is keen, Mike would. So imagine this road in the suburban setting is just covered in snow, okay, and there's this guy who's just moving down the middle of the road. It's quiet, nothing. All of a sudden he stops, and he just hunkers down. And these figures rise up and come around the corners and move right past him. And they walk and they're moving. And when you see these figures, they have no eyes. So the skin has grown over their eyes. And they have these huge mouths with giant slits in them and sharp teeth. And they kind of move past him. And they're blind and they're listening. And then they carry on moving. But he's silent. He just sits in the middle of the road as they sort of move past him. And then they're gone. And then he carries on moving slowly through the snow.
Oh.
So
are they clothed?
Yeah.
These creatures?
I think so.
So are they like genetically modified humans?
This is actually what I wanted to talk about today. I thought today we might decide what these monsters are and how they came into being. Because we have a lot of story stuff to power through.
Yeah.
But I thought what might be interesting is deciding what these monsters are today.
Mm-hmm. I do like the idea of now. So you feel like they'll really rely on their sense of hearing. Obviously not sight, but not smell either.
I don't think. Well, maybe. And do you know what? A creature sniffing into the air is pretty creepy. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it would be really interesting because people go outside and they're not afraid of being seen, but they're afraid of being heard.
Well, and if it's in winter, that crunch of snow underneath your feet is the
impossible.
sound they're
And
looking
honestly,
for. Yeah.
I love the idea that
there's no way to walk silently in the winter.
I love the idea that it can't smell. That's fine.
And if it is
Yeah.
no eyes and just kind of all mouth.
All mouth, and that's basically what they are, right?
Well, and ears, obviously, but
Because just imagine, that look when they creepily like turn their ear towards what they thought they heard, right?
Yeah.
Like that's cool beans.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
No, I think if we could get in touch with it, either it's like because the thing is, if we could make the mouth extend so that it was all the way open until here, with a special effects person, either like I don't know about practical, like maybe with graphics, but we'd have to talk to Dave and see what we could do.
Because they have to look terrifying.
They have to look terrifying. So whatever we got to do to and that's just going to be, and those can be special shots that we can plan. And we're like, we're like, this is what's going to make the movie. Like the way that I'd like to position it is, we have a scene
in the proper lighting and moments and stuff. Makeup can do a lot that you have no idea.
I think what you're saying is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying 1 or 2 shots, full daylight, like full
Full
white
monster.
snow, full monster.
Full
And then the rest is people going
scariest thing
crazy
you've ever
inside.
seen. Yeah.
The rest is people going crazy inside, and the humanity of being stuck, and
The rest is from a distance. Yeah, so Derek just showed me a picture of a person with a really big mouth. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Like just done with makeup.
Just take him to the final image there. Yeah, it's a bit... Not quite that gawky, but...
You know, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of things can be done
Yeah, the thing is, if you have
via
a close...
makeup, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you guys remember Blade 3?
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy whose mouth opened and then his face opened into four pieces? That was cool.
Yeah. No, it's cool, but how would it look on camera if she was moving around?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so think about this.
But yes, I
So
absolutely...
this is cool. We've come up with now whether or not we make changes closer to the time, we'll see. But we've got some monsters who are blind and they can't smell. All they've got is their ears. They are crazy fast, and if they hear you and touch you, they're gonna
Your lunch.
They're gonna eat
you're
you.
in big trouble.
Yeah.
And-
You don't
and they
really
swarm?
fight... You don't...
They swarm?
Yeah, you don't really fight them off. Like, if they find you, then they kill you.
Right.
So I will also say that probably the opening scene is going to be someone wigging out inside the house, running out into the road and getting devoured by the monsters.
Right.
That'll set the stage. We will know all of a sudden, what we're dealing with.
Yeah, outside is not good.
Outside you cannot go. And this is the strange thing about this mysterious man that'll come into the house at some stage, is that he kind of lives outside. He lives in the outside world, and he's able to survive.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's a little bit crazy. Like I will say, if I had to draw it here, it would just be like covered eyes, and it's just a mouth that goes all the way, and maybe not a smiling mouth. It's just that's it. It's just if you took a person's mouth, so that it came to here.
And we were speaking about Heath Ledger earlier.
Yeah, but his are scars.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the actual opening of the
is
mouth.
open,
Yeah. So
that
anyway,
a person's whole face could get bitten off by one of these things.
yeah, something like that. So I think we may have to talk to because we only need a couple shots of that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one or two. The rest we can do with a mask.
Well, those are
From
the
a
type
distance.
of things that will require some dollars and cents.
Yeah.
Just a quick
Yeah.
picture of Jack the Killer.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is very less manic, more animal. Yeah. That's so creepy. That freaks me out.
It's gross. No, I like it. Now, why did they become?
That's a good question.
Now, here's a question, because do we care? Because the one thing that we were discussing was we are, let's say, 3 weeks into this group of people being trapped in this house. Okay, so this problem occurred. They were like, "Holy fuck, we got get inside the house. These things are coming in here, and maybe there are people in the house next door. Who knows? But they're inside this house, right?"
This is the story of this house.
The person that left 3 weeks ago was eaten immediately outside the door, and so we are not going outside the door anymore.
Yeah.
But we're starting to run out of canned food, right? The smell of the poop in buckets is starting to get a little crazy, right?
Like, what are we going to
This
do?
is what is the plan here, right? Because every time someone goes outside, they die, right? And so we kind of start on...
The guy that lives outside coming in, sorry to interrupt,
It's okay.
is kind of like the savior.
Right.
Because he knows how to exist outside, which means he knows how to go and get food.
Right. And he knows what these things are. The people inside the house don't know what is going on
Yeah.
What
But here's the
kind
thing.
of time is this happening?
right now.
Right now, it happens this Christmas, bro. It's going to happen.
So we're talking current day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not in the 70s.
Donald Trump.
Does he do something?
No, I'm just saying we've gone.
Are
into-
these his children?
This is what actually happens in nuclear winter.
What do you mean what actually happened?
When all this
North
bullshit
Korea
happens
has
and they
bombed
start-
Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone who was outside got their faces melt off and turned into monsters.
Nuclear modified humans.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Avenger's like, that's so stupid. I saw the Toxic Avenger, and he became a hero. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there could be, depending on where we are supposed to be, that there's some scientific genetic bullshit going on somewhere.
I mean,
Okay.
realistically,
These are
hold on, I got it.
children creatures from that.
Who doesn't need eyesight?
Moles.
Bingo. Okay, so
minus
these creatures are some sort of humanity that comes up from underground.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
It's like The Descent. It's like the creatures from The Descent.
I've never seen The Descent.
And they had those screaming pitches to them. But yeah, excellent film.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because actually, they wouldn't be able to do echolocation though. Like bats. They would not be able to go and
move around.
Because otherwise they would find you, even if
You were standing still?
you're standing still. Yeah,
Why?
because a bat doesn't run into a wall.
Yeah, but it doesn't know that it's a person.
But they know that
100%.
something's there.
They know something's there.
How?
They just do.
It's a miracle.
Bats don't run into people.
It's a miracle.
I don't know if you ever saw.
I know, but I don't know. The point I'm making is the difference between a wall and a person.
They would know.
They can tell there's a shape to that and it's not flat by how the sound
Yeah,
reflects.
but it doesn't mean it's
they
not a
would
rock.
notice how adorable I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
How do they know the difference between if it moves, like an insect, they catch an insect because the insect is moving, so they're like, oh, it's moving, oh, it's the right size, I got you. But if you were standing still, how would it know that you weren't a tree?
Fair. Okay.
Like the monsters are not walking around eating trees.
So yes.
In the Descent,
to
do
stay
they
still.
do that?
Oh yeah,
Like-
you'd.
No. I'm asking you. Do they make noises? Do they click or whatever? Do they make the clicky noise?
Yeah, because that clicky noise, that would be amazing, actually.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
So we need to find.
The
we need to
Predator
do a
used
little
make
bit of.
really cool sound.
Yeah.
Yes. But
That's really
holy
good.
shit!
Do it closer to the mic.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
That is really good.
Okay, hold on. Now, do we have to shut this podcast down because we are at 1 minute and 13 seconds?
Okay, so do you think they should we are getting
Because-
invaded from underground?
why
people?
not? But here's the thing. Maybe we don't know. Maybe
We don't know what is happening.
we don't know what's happening. Maybe we conjecture.
Yeah, let the
That's-
people freak out about
that's
what
a
it
good-
might be, and
that's a
then
good-
the audience are also making up their own minds of what might
About
be.
what it is, and that's not. And that, do you know what? That could be the overarching story. That could be what the fuck is going on?
I don't mind that though.
Yeah, I don't mind that either.
What if they in the snow they come up out of the ground, man? That's awesome.
Well, even look at The Walking Dead. I mean, was there ever really an explanation as to why the dead are walking, other than seems heaven and hell is all full?
Sure. Yeah.
You know, so that's all
Yeah.
bullshit. Anyway,
that's
See,
the thing,
I would lean more towards humans changing.
Sure.
That's I more than the reality of a sort of an unintelligent animal invading us and
So,
having the impact to cut
I will
everything
say-
out. You know,
Can I talk for a minute about The Descent?
yeah, about the movie you haven't seen.
No, I want to talk about the book.
Ah,
So there's a book called The Descent by an author named Jeff Long. And it is amazing. And in the book, people go into the Himalayas and they go down into the whatever and they get killed and everything's terrible and it's like a horror book basically. But essentially in The Descent, there's people that live underground and they always have. And they are, the king is the devil. He is what we believe is the devil. And he, throughout history, he's like 1,000 years old. And he's like a perfect being that lives underground. And there's all his henchmen and stuff like that are people that he's pulled down under the ground over the years or whatever. And they've mated and whatever. And they've become underground people and they scamper on the walls and stuff like that. And it is not the movie because what I've heard from the movie is it's not this. But this book is amazing.
It sounds.
But it's not quite even like the story here because they don't go above ground. Like they wouldn't become like creatures that walk the earth and are like blind and want to eat people or whatever. Because what they do is they wait. There's these holes that come up out of the ground in certain places, and they wait for people to be nearby, and then they have like scouting parties, and they wait, and then they go grab them and bring them down and kidnap them and rape them and kidnap them and whatnot. And it is amazing, but I think that we could pull off if we ever had to introduce the reason why, we could pull off. There's been an underground group of people, like they were people at one point, but they aren't anymore.
I know,
Yeah.
but now they're unintelligent.
Right.
They're walking around,
Right.
and they've managed to defeat 7 billion people.
Yeah.
With their teeth.
I mean, I think that.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
So-
they're winning
So the
World War.
Yeah, I suppose.
And they
because they
they're
can't die, I suppose, right?
So they get...
You're right. In theory,
we
the
just
way
need to-
that you beat a monster apocalypse is you just drive around in a truck shooting them, right?
I would think so, that the military would beat them, would shoot them to death.
Okay, well then let me throw this out there.
Maybe it is.
What if we?
worldwide thing.
I'm gonna throw this out there.
It's somewhat isolated.
Exactly. Okay, so here's what's happened. We live in a world where these creatures have come out of the ground and they've started to fuck things up for everyone. Now it's February, right? And people in Canada are dying, right? But nobody cares about Canada, right? We don't even have guns up here hardly. So we can't handle the zombie apocalypse up here, right? Not down in America. They're taking these things out left, right, and center. They'll get to us eventually, right? And what we could do is make this a huge America fuck yeah movie where the Americans save the Canadians eventually at the end of the movie.
No.
No? Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
But my point is that only a week or 2 weeks into this thing, it's almost like a state of emergency. But Canada's a big place. Like even our army can't drive around and take care of these things in the whole country in the span of 2 or 3 weeks. But people are locked in their homes and they're going a little hectic, right? They've already taken down some power lines or something, or I don't know how.
Yeah, we just have to make it because, like, they're not so smart. Otherwise, they would catch people in their houses.
All right, now, so this is where it really leads to, do we just not explain it? That's a lot better.
Yes, absolutely. I think we shouldn't explain it. But I think we should,
know.
behind the scenes, we should kind of... And you know what? Maybe we don't need to. Maybe that would ruin it.
I think it has to be something isolated. That this isn't a worldwide epidemic
Yeah.
at all.
So have
We're
you
in
seen...
we're in some village or town or city.
And it's just... This is the
that
only
this
place.
has happened here. It's not gotten out there due
But
to
why
mass
would
power
you use a
outages
cell
for
phone?
whatever reason.
Why won't you use a cell phone to call out?
Right? Something has had to have happened where...
Yeah.
Well, maybe
There's
what
no
happened. Okay, so maybe still a nuclear war of sorts happened, but that's not why these creatures have come out, or that's not what made these creatures.
I think we should do simplest. Like I hear what you guys are saying.
So what you're saying is...
The creatures have taken advantage of now the loss of technology because they've never needed it.
So there's a nuclear
need
war.
it.
There's a nuclear war, and then the monsters come out to feed.
Because
they can.
the government has already been storing millions of them in a secret facility that just unlocked itself. Why are you laughing? That was genius. Fuck yourself.
No, I can't. It's just, I think we have to go with the simplest thing.
Which is to not tell anybody anything.
Not tell anybody anything, and it was a fucking virus.
Sure.
But isolated.
Yeah. Isolated 100%. And we're telling an isolated story in a house.
I'm going with isolated.
We're telling an isolated story in a house. But, like, the problem, it's just that they're dumb animals. And I just can't see...
People don't turn into dumb animals because of nuclear waste, is what you're saying. Now, they might turn into dumb animals with some sort of virus that fucked them up somehow.
You know what? I'm not even sure. I'm just going with the zombie thing. It's the zombie story, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
This has been fun.
just piggybacking the zombie story. But like,
Here's the thing. If we continue to mull this around in the brain, and we come up with a story that fits really nicely and explains why we don't have power, why we don't have cell towers, why people aren't just driving around in a bus going like, hop into the bus.
Let's go somewhere else.
Right? Like, can they
because if they just
can they
stupid
rip
animal-
through a car with their claws and tear a bus open?
That's right.
Right? Like, how powerful are they? Right? Like, if they heard you inside the house, could they just rip the house apart and come in? And will that actually happen?
Yes.
And it probably
It
should.
should, yeah. Or not, well,
Then we wouldn't be able to argue in the home.
that's the thing. I actually think everything should be quiet. The whole time people are creeping. And it's that sense of tension.
Hey, Derek, go fuck yourself.
Okay, I see what you're
Like that sense of every time there's tension and people start raising their voices in the tension, that you could get everyone killed. And so when somebody starts yelling a lot, like you want to brain them
Yeah.
with a pole.
So somebody starts
In fact,
yelling,
maybe
and
that's
the
how
little
some people
mouse,
start
the
dying.
little mousy girl, who hasn't hardly said a word, brains some fucking guy, and everybody's like,
Yeah,
with a pipe, or a pot,
that's cool. That is cool.
with a pot of Irish stew.
Gone. So yeah, I don't think we need to get into why. Yeah,
It'd be nice though.
it would be nice. I think.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like this movie's not going to end with the sun coming out and people leaving the house and going, "I'm so glad I'm alive."
No, you're right. You're right.
I
mean,
want
but
to.
who
I
knows?
want to tell you. I would love to tell you
But we can't.
what's happening in my head, but I'm
you can't.
afraid.
That's fine. Good.
I'm afraid.
Good. So this is gonna be fun.
I'm afraid to
I
tell
like-
you where I think the end should go
Good.
and what should happen after.
Yeah. Don't.
Okay, I'll keep it DL.
This is fun. What do you
on the
think?
down
Are
low.
you getting excited a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's going to be a challenge, both to come up with a quick story. I think it's going to be a challenge for all the actors
Oh yeah,
because
more so than having a script.
100%.
Absolutely,
Right?
this is going to require work.
Yes.
And
so-
and what Adrian was saying, like you need to become your character, and you cannot leave that character.
Right.
In fact, I think we should almost, like you're saying, if we're in it for a weekend, even when people sleep, grab couch time, go to bed, whatever. Cameras are still rolling.
Yeah.
In a manner of speaking, yeah.
Like maybe not running 24/7,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, like to
Come
the
in
point
and
where
get
you
some
know
of that,
it's winding down now. We're still filming. Some shit going on because while you're winding down over here, there might
And
be
so
some
maybe the
convincing
story
going on.
should take place over 2.5 days.
Maybe twice.
Yeah, maybe twice. But so the way that we would do it is we would run the scene, right? The improvised scene with direction, and we would do it until we got the scene.
Yeah.
Right? And then we would just move on.
Come in, do a couple of specials, like
Couple of
little weird
close-ups.
things.
If we need someone grabbing the knife and waving it in someone's face, then we grab the grabbing of the knife or something like that. We can grab that, but that's only if we really need it.
Yep.
So the one thing that we had talked about was, and I don't even know if we go here, but a guy comes in who knows how to live outside, and he's the only one with a gun. So he's instantly got this like little bit of a power play. And the discussion that we had was people start to die in the house, right? And there's a little bit of a murder mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of go through everybody is unsure of the others in the group. They're starting to be suspicious of different things, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And at one point, the guy has like little cameras. And I don't know if they're obviously battery powered, but maybe he plops up a GoPro, and it's in black and white.
Oh,
and then
that's
you
a good
see some
point.
of that. You see some of that footage, and then he checks it the next morning to see who took the last can of food. Or
Do you know what he should use as like a baby monitor?
monitor, battery powered baby monitor.
Yeah, man.
So we can get these little moments where it's like this shit black and white bit of footage of somebody kind of creeping in, or you don't quite see who it is, or it's like, you know, who knows? Maybe it's like, anyways, I don't want to spoil some of the things, but
Did you see how many likes there was in there?
no, was there a lot?
There was a good
I didn't even know.
Did I say like
there were some
like?
good likes. You were excited about your thoughts as they were coming up.
So
See what I did there? I lost my composure.
So just reiterating, just so that we kind of understand, there'll be a story chunk, and then we will have a couple of artistic shots that will be set up, right?
Yes.
So that we can so that the movie, it's broken, you know what I mean? It's broken up between the story, and we have good, glorious cinematography as well. Absolutely. Now we'll try and make the cinematography as good as we can with the two sort of wides and the two tights at the same time. Hopefully we can shoot with 4 cameras, you know. And away we go. It's going to be amazing.
Wow.
And then what we get is what we get.
That's it.
It sounds to me like it may be a bit of an editing marvel as well.
No,
because
we're only going to have...
Everything is synced.
Yeah.
You just pick which camera you want to use.
Yeah.
You're right, except we only might try it a couple times. Everybody's gonna have to do their jobs.
Yeah, the thing that we're gonna need is lav mics.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening here.
All right, but it is very. I'm actually really excited about this little project.
All right, this is great. Let's shut this podcast down. How are we doing, everybody?
Fantastic.
You know what? We're gonna go an hour and a half tonight. We're at an hour and 25 minutes. I do have one more thing to do. I'm going to put Derek on the spot because he is our guest of honor on this show. Derek.
No.
What I want you to do is give us your top. I heard somebody else do it. I loved it. I want you to give us your top 3 to 5 movies which you can watch over and over again, kind of like your guilty pleasures. Not necessarily your favorite movies of all time, but I want you to give us your top 5 movies that if they're on TV, you would watch them every single time. Guilty pleasures, desert island movies. What do you got?
And don't worry. It's not going to be written in stone. It's just the 5 that come to mind.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Oh, okay.
Patrick Dempsey. Back to the Future.
Oh,
the original.
Nice.
I liked the whole series, but the original.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Shit.
The first one. Loved the ending of the movie, especially. He's not dead. I shot him 5 times. Fantastic. Let me see. Original Transformers gave me the biggest hard-on ever. I just loved everything about it. Superman, number 1. The original. And even more so amazingly because the ending, and I had introduced my daughters to it, and when he starts flying and you hear the dun 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 dun,
yeah,
dun, 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 and he changes arms and smiles at the camera as he flies off.
Yeah.
Just makes me weep. Love it.
You don't understand how much I love the first Superman movie.
Yeah. Incredible.
I just gotta throw one thing out there. The scene where she's voiceovering when he's flying her through the air. So
yeah.
It's so hard to watch.
Does he know?
Does he know?
Yeah.
Does he know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god, kill me right now.
Okay,
but that movie, I love it.
How many was I at?
That was 5, buddy.
That's 5?
Yeah, that's
another
really
one.
cool. What else you got?
Still in it now for something a little bit more today.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump. Love Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that's good.
Everything about
Shit
it
happens.
was just a fantastic movie.
It is a great movie.
Including the soundtrack. Was just so well thought out and put together properly.
Just the idea of being in leg braces, breaking out of the your expectations, breaking free of those expectations.
Yeah.
Everyone gets on board behind that.
Absolutely.
This is your box. You sit in this box. No fucking ways.
I'm going to run and smash out of these things.
I'm going to smash out of these leg braces. And that is what we all dream about.
Yeah.
Smashing out of our leg
and
braces.
almost anybody can always use that run, Forrest, run.
Yeah.
In so many situations in your life.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And that was Robert Wright. Was that Robin Wright again? Was that Robin Wright?
I don't know.
I'm unsure.
We're going to look that up, but we're going to end this show. So listen, thanks everybody for sticking around for an hour and a half. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, Derek, for joining. That was a lot of fun, man.
My pleasure, gentlemen.
I think we got to keep having you back and not do the... I think it was a lot more fun doing not the who is Derek Lackenbauer, the sexy human being, and just get into chit-chatting. And,
I enjoyed it.
Whatever, that was
I'd
a lot of fun.
love to come back, for sure.
Alrighty, guys, we're going to shut down this podcast for the day. Is it Robin Wright?
Stand by.
We're standing by.
Stand by. I've got...
I'm not going to lie, we did a really good job keeping this show to an hour.
And a half.
It was a lot shorter than... Listen, if you guys made it to an hour and a half, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Twitter, okay? And I want you to mention the Fable Forest, @the Fable Forest, and say, I made it to an hour and a half on episode 18. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to follow you. We're going to find out who you are. We're going to send you a free DVD, either of one of our two movies, I Was a Greenhouse or Bickerman's Grove, up to a maximum of 5. We're going to send 5 DVDs away for whoever makes it this far. And
that sounds sexy.
It does, right? We're gonna give some of these DVDs away that we had made up. So, how are you doing over there, Adrian?
I'm struggling.
Google works.
Yeah, it was Robin Wright.
It was Robin Wright. Amazing. All right, thanks everyone again. Hope you followed along and enjoyed. This is Jason Green. Dream big.
And Adrian Constant. Work hard.
And Derek Lackenbauer. Sons of bitches.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching our YouTube video.
First frames first.
Yes. First frames first. Thank you, Jason.
Welcome.
If you enjoyed, head over to our website, www.thefableforest.com. Check out our films and sign up for our newsletter where we will send you exclusive content.
Hit us up on our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, always @The Fable Forest. And share our show with your friends. It'll really help us out a lot.
Dream big.
Work hard.